I love the array of news. I love the different cultures, and I love how the journalists embed themselves in these different areas and able to still tap into the community and tell everyday stories about everyday people.
Chauncy Glover, Kcal News. This is Kcal News, Los Angeles.
Now at 8, more hope out of Hollywood. The latest tonight, news from Hollywood studios and striking actors.
And a replacement named to fill Senator Dianne Feinstein's seat, and she's already making history.
You've given your private information, your credit card.
Is your parking ticket fake? The new scam to trick you into losing hundreds of dollars. Welcome to Kcal News at 8, streaming live on CBS News Los Angeles. Hope you had a great weekend, everyone. I'm Susie Tsai.
And thanks for being here with us tonight. I'm Chauncy Glover. Breaking news right now. Encouraging word tonight after negotiations between SAG-AFTRA and the Hollywood studios.
That's right. Kcal News assignment editor Mike Rogers at the desk now. Mike, we hear negotiations are expected to resume again soon.
Yeah, you know, it's funny you guys talk about encouraging words, and really the encouraging words are very, very small. But when they come out as a joint statement like this to our desk, that's really how we know things are at least not standing still or going backwards, right? We got this statement. It's a joint statement from the AMPTP as well as SAG-AFTRA that basically says talks concluded today and they will resume Wednesday. And it's interesting how very few words can actually mean a lot when it comes to these negotiations. We've seen before when the negotiations fall apart that you start hearing insider leaks from either side of the industry in some of the industry industry papers or the online websites there. So the fact that there really isn't any of that happening and the fact that they are both releasing a joint statement saying, look, we concluded today, we're going to resume Wednesday, is a good sign. Now, remember, the SAG-AFTRA and AMPTP have not met at the table since their strike began. The WGA one just ended. A lot of people see this as kind of the framework. Maybe the SAG-AFTRA deal and the WGA deal will kind of mirror each other and they can move forward. So we're going to continue to monitor this situation here from the desk. But again, both sides today saying talks concluded and they will resume Wednesday, which, of course, any talks are good talks. Guys?
That's right, Mike. Thank you so much.
LaFonza Butler, newly appointed by Governor Newsom, will be a member of the Senate by this time tomorrow.
That's right. Her selection to succeed the late Dianne Feinstein is being applauded by many, but as Kcal News reporter Jeff Nguyen shows us tonight, there are some questioning the move.
I have sent LaFonza, texts of congratulations.
April Verrett has been friends with LaFonza Butler for more than 20 years. In fact, she succeeded Butler as the president of SEIU Local 2015, which is a labor group that represents long-term care workers.
Good evening, everyone.
Butler went on to run Emily's List, which is an organization that works to elect Democratic women who support abortion rights. She's been living in Maryland. On Sunday, Governor Gavin Newsom announced Butler's appointment as the successor to the vacated Senate seat of the late Dianne Feinstein. In a statement, the GOP of LA County said the rest of the country now knows what we in Los Angeles and California have long known, that Gavin Newsom and the Democrats have no regard for real representation of citizens, the consent of the governed, nor even the appearance of caring about California. Newsom's office says Butler re-registered to vote in California on Sunday.
She literally took that job at Emma's List, still has a house out here, and re-registered. And we were transparent about that.
Amy Allison is the founder of She the People, which advocates for more women of color in elected office. She worked with Butler in 2014 during Kamala Harris's campaign for California Attorney General.
LaFonza Butler is known to many of us as a Los Angeles area powerhouse. She has lived in Los Angeles for a long period of time.
Newsom appointed Butler after promising to fill any possible vacancy with a black woman. He also said he didn't want to put his thumb on the scale on the primary race next March, which includes Congresswoman Barbara Lee and Representatives Adam Schiff and Katie Porter. The governor says Butler is free to jump into that race if she chooses.
Far too few people who are in elected office in this country go to work with working people. And I know that in LaFonza Butler, there will be a person who does just that.
Vice President Harris is expected to swear in Butler on Tuesday as senator on Capitol Hill. Jeff Nguyen, Kcal News.
Jeff, thanks. Well, friends, don't get too used to our slightly cooler weather.
Oh, yes. We're going to flip the script on you one more time. Kcal News Next weather meteorologist Evelyn Tapp with more on that tonight. Hi, Ev.
Hi, Suze, and welcome, Chauncy.
Thank you.
We are getting a look at a very warm forecast. We're welcoming you with some heat.
I brought it in from Houston.
You sure did, that's for sure. Minus the humidity, but we'll take the heat as we get a look at the last 24 hours. Well, temperatures will tell you the story, at least your 24-hour changes. We're warmer tonight compared to this time last night. 2 degrees warmer for Burbank, 3 degrees warmer for Riverside, 2 degrees warmer for San Bernardino. Big Bear up 5 degrees in Lancaster. We're already up 6 degrees tonight. And as we get a look at satellite radar, mostly clear skies across Southern California tonight, and that's going to be the case most of the week. We've got offshore winds coming in, high pressure building across Southern California, bringing warm and dry conditions. So we're going to take a closer look at what we can expect as far as those Santa Anas go and as far as those numbers go. But for now, Susie, Chauncy, back to you.
All right, Ev, thanks so much.
And a major bust against a suspected narcotics and firearm trafficking network operating out of L.A. State Attorney General Rob Bonita announcing today 27 people were arrested in a multi-agency operation which wrapped up Thursday. More than $40,000 in cash, 30 firearms, and significant amounts of illegal narcotics all seized in this Operation Safe Harbor, including fentanyl, meth, also heroin, PCP, and cocaine. The suspects will likely now face a long list of charges.
Criminal enterprises across California that you cannot stand up to the power of good police work. This was good police work. Important investigations, following the facts and tracking down the individuals responsible and holding them accountable.
Congress may have avoided a government shutdown, but the drama is far from over. Tonight, Representative Matt Gaetz has made good on his promise to file a resolution to oust Kevin McCarthy as House Speaker.
I do not think it's good for the House. I do not think it's good for this institution. I do not think this is good for the country. We've got 45 days here to do our work, and someone wants to continue to string this out.
Gaetz's calls to push out McCarthy escalated over the weekend after McCarthy relied on Democrats to provide the necessary votes to fund the government. Now, one of the contentious points has been funding for Ukraine, which was left out of the bill over the weekend. And lawmakers have also...
We cannot, under any circumstances, allow American support for Ukraine to be interrupted.
And lawmakers have a little more than a month to find common ground on long-term funding to keep things running, including funding for Ukraine.
Coming up here at 8, late-night talk shows finally set to return. Ev?
And Susie, Chauncy, we are getting a look outside right now at Santa Monica. Clear skies and some seriously sizzling temperatures ahead. We're going to have more.
Also coming up next, we're meeting the woman behind In and Out as she opens up about her past. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the news at 8 o'clock. Hollywood writers are back on the job tonight, which means the laughter returns to late night TV.
Yeah, Kcal News reporter Ali Bauman has a preview of tonight's late show and the excitement from fans.
And tonight's guest will be astrophysicist and also author Neil deGrasse Tyson. And the Late Show band leader will also be performing tonight. That's coming up tonight following the Kcal News at 11 o'clock on CBS Los Angeles on Channel 2.
And Colbert isn't the only talk show returning to TV. The Talk is also coming back. Season 14 premieres right here on CBS Los Angeles next Monday, October 9th at 1 o'clock. Hey, you may have noticed a new face on our team. We want to welcome Chauncy Glover, everybody. Welcome.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is so good to be here. I am so blessed. I've had such a good time getting to know all the coworkers here,
right.
and I'm looking forward to getting out in the community and also meeting and getting to know you folks too. I am a big community guy, and you know, this is something that I've prayed about, I've dreamed about. And it's happening. I'm right here next to you, Susie Sun.
Wow.
It's going to be a great ride. I'm originally from Alabama, so a Southern gentleman. Some people call me a country boy. Depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
But I started my career in Columbus, Georgia, and then went over to Florida, then Detroit. I've been in Houston the past 8 years, and here I am in LA.
I have a question. Rewind a little bit to that time in your childhood when you decided this is going to be my career? I know you have a pretty fun story about that.
I was 5 years old. I knew I wanted to be a journalist. I love writing and reading and telling stories. And my mom chased down our local news lady, as we called them back in the day, in the grocery store. And was like, my son wants to do what you do. And the rest is history. My dad built me a little anchor desk. And I would do my little shows at the time after church. So, and here I am.
Kids know what they want.
Yeah,
that's
it's
for sure.
It's amazing to see your dreams that early.
Yeah.
We know that you have a very special cause, just dear to your heart, that actually started when you were on a story. Tell us about that.
You know, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to be a journalist, to impact our communities, which is why I'm so blessed to work for a station where that is our mantra, making our communities better. But yes, in Detroit, headed to breaking news, and found a young man on the streets of Detroit, watched him die. He had tried to rob a coach at a high school. Interviewed his mom the next day, and she talked about how he was a great young man. She took him inside his room. She showed me his homework and poems that he had written, and she said, I wish I could have shown him other than this. She said he just got caught up with the wrong crowd. So I went back to his school and started to talk with his friends, and started taking lunch, and then taking them to a basketball game, a football game, and then it snowballed into a full nonprofit organization. And to this date, it's the thing I'm most proud of. We've mentored more than 1,000 young men of color, and we've sent more than 350 to college.
Wow. And just to add to that, there's something we want to play for you here.
Hello, Chauncy. I just want to give you my well wishes in LA. I know you're going to kill it. The impact you have had on numerous individuals, including myself, will only grow out there. Your resilience, your determination has continued to inspire me, but also others. So I just want to wish you well. I love you forever.
Oh, that is one of my mentees there, Lister. He's at Texas Tech, also majoring in journalism. He wants to be behind the scenes, though. But man, I'm so proud of the impact of what I've been able to do in these communities. And I feel like that's what we are truly here for. As journalists, we're merely servants of the community. And I look forward to one day even possibly bringing the Chauncy Glover Project here to LA. And if you want to learn more about the organization, just go to the ChaunceyGloverProject.org.
We are so happy to have you, and I think Evelyn has some good weather for you.
I
for
do.
Your first
I mean,
week
we
here.
chatted a little bit about it.
I brought it in.
You're bringing a little bit of the heat. We weren't ready. We just weren't ready this weekend. We're like, it's not over yet. So thank you.
You're welcome.
I like a little sunshine. So, you know, all about a little sunshine.
At least you don't have the humidity. I didn't bring the humidity from Texas.
No, we don't do humidity here. No, we don't do humidity. But I will tell you, I mean, sometimes I don't mind if I'm on vacation, you know, but
a little humidity.
yeah, it's not good for the hair. Exactly. So we're good with the dry heat.
I don't have to worry about that.
You don't have to worry about that. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're like, bring it all on. Yeah. But I will tell you, though, it's going to be a dry heat. And of course, we all know what that means here in Southern California. Yes, we have the sunshine and it's going to be gorgeous. And we're talking beach weather in 80s and 90s and even close to 90 degrees at the beach. But we all know that also means Santa Ana's and offshore conditions. So as we get a look at the last 24 hours, you will see temperatures warmer tonight compared to this time last night. That's right. And we're going to continue to warm day by day. In fact, we're going to be about 5 to 10 degrees warmer incrementally. That's going to be the trend over the next few days, if you will. As I step off and show you satellite radar, we're looking at mostly clear conditions across Southern California right now, and that's going to continue to be the case as well, because we will see very warm, dry, but clear conditions as offshore winds kick in and push any of that cloud cover out. Temperatures right now in the 60s, 63 for Lancaster, 62 for Palmdale, 59 for Acton as we head to downtown, 64 degrees. As we head to LAX, 63 degrees, and Palos Verdes at 57. Heading to Laguna, 62 at the coast, 63 in Dana Point, Ladera Ranch at 60 tonight, and the IE mostly in the 60s and 70s. 70 for Paris as we head to Hemet, 64 in Beaumont at 60. You'll see the mountains in the 30s and 40s, 37 degrees for Big Bear, and as we head to Joshua Tree, 62 in the high desert. So high pressure is going to build in over the next few days, and we haven't had a Santa Ana wind event in quite a while, but not atypical for the month of October. Of course, we are still in fall, and that's when we get some of the drier winds that peak and that's what you're going to see over the next few days. Bringing with it not just sunshine, but elevated fire danger by the end of the week, and temperatures soaring from the 70s to the 90s by Thursday and Friday, a little cooler by Saturday. By Sunday and Monday, we're in the 80s. For the valleys, 80s, 90s, and triple digits by the time we hit Friday, and still quite hot over the weekend. Susie, Chauncy, back to you.
Welcome back. There's more housing available tonight for low-income families. A grand opening was held today for a new affordable housing complex in North Hollywood. It's called Sun Commons and features more than 100 units, from studios to 2- and 3-bedroom apartments. Many of them are reserved for lower-income families and formerly unhoused residents.
Upon my arrival to California, I was sleeping in a car. So the street outreach team is definitely vital throughout this process, because without them, I would have not been able to locate these services. Commitment.
Well, Sun Commons officially opened to the public a couple of months ago. Well, tonight, the Better Business Bureau is warning drivers to watch out for fake parking tickets.
Yeah, it's becoming a growing problem here in California and across the country. Tonight, On Your Sides, Christine Lazar shows us what to look out for.
The scammers are taking advantage of the fear of mounting fines, hoping drivers will just want to pay the fake ticket quickly. But experts warn, don't pay it until you verify it.
If you look at them side by side, it can be tough to spot the fake.
Because we're seeing the scammers becoming so much adept at reproducing the artwork and the wording.
The Better Business Bureau is seeing a substantial uptick in Californians falling victim to fake parking tickets. BBB Los Angeles President Steve McFarland says scammers will often carry with them a thermal printer that anyone can buy online for under $50.
They'll enter in your license plate number, possibly your VIN, along with a time and a fake number, along with a dollar amount. Sometimes there's a phone number to call. Other times there's a link to click to pay.
They'll even put QR codes for quick and easy payment.
And guess what? Now, not only are you paying a fake ticket, but in a lot of cases, you've given your private information, your credit card, and you could get hit with another charge later on.
McFarland warns scammers are also placing those QR codes on parking kiosks.
So they may place a sticker somewhere in a prominent spot,
so that you pay them instead of the actual owner of the lot.
Our office here in Pasadena had our own lot, had QR codes placed on the kiosks, and was scamming people.
Even the head of Pasadena's parking enforcement says it can be easy to be duped.
Probably the best tip I can give to a citizen is if they've parked illegally and they've received a citation anyway, that's a pretty big sign that something's going on.
So before you pay, verify the ticket with the city you received it in. Check for misspellings or web addresses that seem fishy. Pay with a credit card so you can dispute the charge if it's not legitimate. And make sure you report a suspected fake ticket to the city where you received it.
I also talked to our experts about what you should do if you receive a ticket in a private parking lot from the lot owner. Now, those tickets are not enforceable, so if you don't pay them, nothing will go on your record or your credit report. But if you park in that lot again, they can boot you or tow you. Christine Lazar, Kcal News.
Thank you, Christine. We have more news straight ahead. Coming up at 8, bringing mental health care into the courtroom.
Yeah, how California's new program is aimed at helping the homeless crisis here in the Southland. Streaming live on CBS News Los Angeles, I'm Susie Sa.
And thanks for being here with us tonight. I'm Chauncy Glover. Well, there are still a lot of questions tonight about that deadly shooting last week in Garden Grove.
As Kcal News reporter Michelle Geely reports tonight, that accused shooter is back in the neighborhood as prosecutors now figure out whether charges will be filed.
Michelle, thanks. We're Care Court, the controversial program set to spread statewide come January, has launched in Orange and also Riverside counties. And as Kcal News reporter Rick Montanez explains with us tonight, the first petition is already in. All right, turns out you might be washing your hands all wrong, and that could also lead to some foodborne illnesses. Kcal News reporter Michael George is showing us the right way to clean our hands.
Breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but a new study shows Americans need a lesson on how to safely prepare it.
We found some pretty shocking trends.
Researchers at the USDA observed participants in a test kitchen preparing breakfast foods. Hand washing before, during, and after preparing a meal is essential to prevent the spread of bacteria. Yet 96% failed to properly wash their hands.
87% of people that participated in the study said that they washed their hands before meal preparation, but when we actually looked at what they did, only about 44% of people did.
Meredith Carruthers from the USDA shows us how it's done. Wet hands with water, lather with soap, scrub hands for at least 20 seconds, rinse hands with water, and dry hands using a clean towel. The survey shows cross-contamination is more prevalent in the kitchen than we realize. About 1 in 6 people in the U.S. get sick from foodborne illnesses each year. Eggs are a breakfast staple but can have bacteria that cause illness. Nearly half of the participants did not attempt to wash their hands after cracking eggs. And another food safety misstep, 92% failed to insert a food thermometer correctly in a sausage patty.
We are seeing good rates of people using a food thermometer, which is definitely improving from previous studies that we've done. But if you don't use it properly, you still might not actually tell if something's fully reached that safe internal temperature.
And make sure you insert the thermometer to the center of the raw sausage patty through the side to get the most accurate reading. Michael George, Kcal News.
Michael, thank you for the tips there. Well, coming up here tonight, we're meeting the woman behind the success of In-N-Out.
Yeah, she's going to share her journey and whether she plans to sell the iconic burger joint.
And we are getting a look outside right now at Long Beach. A beautiful evening for us and some offshore winds on the way. That's right. Santa Ana's around the corner. We'll show you what that means for your neighborhood next.
Talk about legacy there. Well, to find out more about the history of In-N-Out, just head to kcalnews.com. You can also download our Kcal News mobile app. And, you know, we ran the story earlier at 5.
Yeah.
I had to try it.
And so Chauncy had In-N-Out for dinner tonight.
I battled the wait.
Okay.
I stood in line and I got the double-double.
Ooh.
Wait, this is your first time?
First time.
No way.
Yeah. California. You have to do it, right?
I kind of have goosebumps.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's your first
You gotta
time.
do it. It's a rite of passage in California.
It was good, too. I even brought you some extra fries.
Oh, thank you.
Where am I? What's up with that?
We're going to have to share those,
I work here too.
Way to go, Chauncy.
But next time, I want them animal style.
Gotcha.
Okay?
Animal style.
I will say I am full, and the suit doesn't fit the same as it did at 5.
It's just a little.
It's all good.
It doesn't matter because the weather's fantastic.
I even wore pants today. I'm just saying. It was a pants kind of day, too.
Was, yeah.
I got you. I got you. I owe you some In-N-Out.
Love me a little In-N-Out. But
yeah, me too.
I'm so excited. I mean, that's it. You're a Californian now.
You are.
It's official.
Truly official.
And there were people waiting in line, and if you dropped the top, you were a little cool out there.
Sure,
waiting in
it
line.
was a cooler kind of night, exactly.
Yep,
Yeah.
it sure was.
Drive
It was. Yeah, but you know what? Dropping the top later this week, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be like 90 degrees. So you know, then once you get in that In-N-Out line, at about yay time, it's gonna be maybe like 80 degrees, right? Okay. So,
all right.
There we go.
Evelyn, we're going to interrupt you just a second for some breaking news right now. We have a pursuit in progress. We want to show that to you. Let's go upstairs to Desmond Shaw in Kcal for a look. Desmond.
Yes, Susie, here we are on Chino Hills Parkway. So this came out of Orange County, actually out of the La Habra area. You can see it looks like a stolen work truck is what we're hearing. And what they're saying is that this was unreported, which basically just means that this was very, very fresh stolen, possibly within the last couple of hours or today, and just wasn't entered into the system. So if how they were able to identify this, find this vehicle, not unclear at this point. But it looks to be a commercial work truck here, going to go underneath the 71 freeway. Stand by as we come onto the other side of this. And this one took a really roundabout way to get here out of La Habra. They actually came up Carbon Canyon, went through the Sleepy Hollow neighborhood, and we just intercepted it over here in the Chino Hills area. Are they gonna? Oh, it almost looked like they were maybe gonna go the wrong way up that off-ramp there, but it continues now as we are making our way into the Inland Empire. A stolen vehicle out of Orange County, now on the border of Riverside and San Bernardino County. Susie.
All right, I want to bring in Mike Rogers from the desk. You have some more information for us, Mike. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we've been monitoring this. As we mentioned, it started with La Habra police. And when Des talks about unreported stolen, that's what CHP is calling this, an unreported 10851 is the vehicle code for that. It likely means that the theft was probably witnessed. Which is, why law enforcement was able to get behind it. Generally, with stolen vehicles, once they're entered into the system, there's a law enforcement database, and an officer can run a plate, or an automatic license plate reader can pick it up, and then they'll get a notification that the vehicle was stolen. In this situation, because it was never entered in, they likely either witnessed this or somebody witnessed it quick enough to get La Habra police behind it. Now, this is also still La Habra PD that is chasing this, even though we are now in a whole different county out here in the Chino Hills, San Bernardino area. I did talk to CHP briefly. They do have their helicopter overhead. We've got Angel, which is Anaheim police helicopter overhead, as well as the CHP helicopter. Both have been on this the whole time. No details at all about the theft right now. We've got some calls out to La Habra PD, the watch commander over there, obviously busy dealing with this right now, especially since his units have not relinquished the pursuit to any other agencies. So what are the circumstances behind this? Was it stolen? I mean, is the person armed? All of that is still yet to be known. It is interesting to me, though, that we do have 2 law enforcement helicopters over it. Generally, CHP looked like they were already up, but it was interesting to me that when Anaheim came over, CHP didn't get rid of it. Both CHP and Anaheim are both overhead, and I'm just looking to see if there's any San Bernardino law enforcement helicopters that are going to come help out as well. But, Susie and Chauncy, not an easy vehicle to hide. Sure. This is, it's pretty big. There's a lot of stuff on here, which also makes it very dangerous. You probably won't see a pit maneuver just because of the heaviness of the truck. If they pit it, it could flip, and all kinds of other issues.
Right, and also talking about your speed too, Mike. It seems like this may have been going on a while. You talk about it starting in La Habra and now entering IE. How long do we think this has been going on?
We've been tracking it at least, I want to say, since about 8:20. So we're probably coming up on 45 minutes. But yeah, Chauncy, La Habra, Brea, kind of the north end of Yorba Linda, and then through Carbon Canyon, which I don't know that I've ever seen a chase go through Carbon Canyon, and then into Chino Hills, and now we're in Chino. So he is covering, I say he, but the driver is covering quite the ground. And, Des talks about it all the time, the pursuit package on the tinted windows there, those look to be very tinted, and I'm trying to Cisco. So Cisco looks like the company that owns this truck. That's at least what's on the side of the door.
Yeah, and this can be very dangerous too. You talked about how big this truck is, and a work truck, of course, can't go up to big speeds, but this can be very dangerous. Which at one point you thought they were going to try to do that pit maneuver, but they backed off of that.
Sure. Let's go back upstairs to Desmond Shaw in Kcal for an update. Now, Desmond, have you seen any other methods, like maybe a spike strip during this whole thing?
They haven't seen that attempt yet, and this vehicle hasn't been traveling at very high speed, so it certainly seems like if they wanted to give that a try, it would be possible. But we are dealing with a smaller agency here. I'm not sure that I've ever covered a pursuit involving La Habra PD, so it's unclear what their procedures are going to be, what kind of temperament their watch commander, whoever is in charge over there, is going to have. As kind of stopped behind this tree right here, kind of looked like the suspect was a little indecisive about what they wanted to do as we make this turn now onto Edison Avenue. And, do they want to try a spike strip? Again, it would be possible, but there's only a couple of units that are in pursuit, I believe. Right now, while we're on these kind of low speeds, you have 3 that are involved on this one right here, and then the 2 airships overhead. Kind of surprising that they haven't tried to hand this off at any point. And they probably could have handed it off to CHP because Carbon Canyon is a numbered highway that I believe would be CHP jurisdiction. So they just seem like they really want to stick with this one. And not sure what that is sticking out of the other side of that work truck right there. From one angle, it almost looked like one of those kind of extensions that would service like a telephone line or one of those. But I don't think that is what is sticking out of the side of that work truck. But regardless, here paralleling the 60 freeway on Edison Avenue, covered a lot of ground. This is a truck that's not going to get very good gas mileage either, so you really wonder how much gas this vehicle has and how much longer they can continue, especially now with these insane gas prices that we've had. It's not uncommon for people to avoid topping off the tank, just put in 20 here, 30 there, so definitely worth wondering. Obviously, we don't know that, but this is definitely a gas-guzzling vehicle as we just continue to kind of wind our way into the Inland Empire here in the Chino Hills, Ontario area.
Yeah, gas guzzling, but certainly moving at a very slow rate of speed tonight as we go through these streets in Ontario. It doesn't look like the La Habra Police Department is trying any kind of attempt to stop this car as far as we know right now. But of course, they are in communication with each other to talk about what is their next course of action, obviously. This is a very narrow street that we're looking at right now. It looks like a residential area, but as we've been talking about, this pursuit has been going on for a while now. The good part of at least 30 minutes as far as we know. Again, if you're just joining us here on Kcal, this is breaking news of a pursuit by the La Habra Police Department. It started with a stolen truck. We believe this is a Cisco truck, and it was stolen, and now they are after this person, but we don't know how many people are inside this truck. Is the person or the driver inside this truck armed? What else are we talking about outside of stealing this vehicle that they're running from tonight?
And now we're making a southbound turn here on Eucalyptus Avenue. So this company, Cisco, it's not the Cisco that does the telecommunication stuff. I believe that company is CISCO. This is CYSCO, which I know there was a Cisco, like a food distribution company.
Yeah.
This doesn't, I mean, I remember working at my first ever job at Bowling Alley Snack Bar, and we always had the big Cisco truck that delivered all the onion rings and the chicken strips and all that kind of stuff. So, not sure what other businesses Cisco is involved in, but here again, we could see that logo here. And, this looks kind of like a big utility truck, like a work truck. So maybe it might be lots of tools and stuff in the back here. Obviously, this doesn't look like a food delivery vehicle. That would be one of those big box trucks. But and then you're stealing a vehicle that Mike said kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. This isn't just a generic black SUV or a white sedan. You've got a logo on both sides of the door, and you've got this kind of work configuration here for the bed of the truck. So speed's picking up a little bit though here, 53 miles an hour. Fortunately, well past rush hour and whatever. So not too much in the way of traffic out here. Let's see what La Habra PDs, they're kind of getting up like they might want to do a pit maneuver. That's kind of the position they get into when they want to do that. But I can't remember ever seeing a pit attempt on a vehicle like this. Like Mike was saying, they might have some reservations just because of the shape and the weight of this vehicle. But as they were closing in, the speed's picking up a little bit here. So it continues to drag on. And where are they heading? Is this mindless, or is this whatever their plan is? Is this where they live or where they want to go and ditch the vehicle? Do they have a hiding place? We'll just have to see how this plays out in the next few minutes.
And as I was about to say, this is the fastest we've seen the truck go here since we've been following this chase. We want to head back over to Mike. Mike, does it seem like that to you? This truck has mainly been moving at a slow rate of speed until now.
Yeah, and it's interesting, Chauncy. I was watching kind of some of the helicopter radar data as they were coming through Carbon Canyon there, and I noted to Desmond actually how slow it looked like they were going, and now it all makes sense. This is a very high profile and busy vehicle. And, Des, you were talking about Cisco, and that logo does match the Cisco that does the wholesale restaurant food delivery. So I'm sure that's what this is. And I'm curious. I wonder if this is maybe a maintenance truck. Maybe this truck comes to deal with broken down Cisco semis. Maybe that's that kind of situation that this person it was in at the time the car was stolen. And are we going on a dirt road now, or just some dust on the road there, Des?
CBS News Los Angeles, your local news, streaming wherever, whenever.